Hi guys, how we doing? So, I'm kind of hoping we're going to finish this today. Um, we've done everybody else. So, we're going to add some yellow in. And I think I'm going to go counterintuitive and actually mix the yellow with silver instead of gold and see what we think of that. So, I had intended to start with the big one, but I never got around to switching them out, so we're going to change it up a little and start with the silver. That gave us kind of a mustardy tone, but did it give us enough shimmer? No. So we're going to make some gold in there as well. I don't want to take it to a gray-green color just because that wouldn't be very interesting. I think we're going to brighten this back up just a little hint. There we go. So that's kind of where we wound up. I'm just looking at what you guys get to see here. So that is going to end up looking very greenish. I may have to go and do a second coat on each of these. It's always a little tricky guessing what they're going to look like with that black backing. Excuse me. Really had to convince myself to get out here today. Not that I didn't want to paint, but I don't know, there's something in the air today that just it's got us all here in the house feeling very, very lazy. Which doesn't happen often, but, you know, sometimes you get bit by the lazy bug. I don't dislike that at all. I'm going to be real honest. I do think I'm going to have to come back in and give it a second coat, but so I think we're going to make this more of a bright orangey tone. And then I think we'll do that same orangey tone down here. But oops. There we go. I guess I could turn this around so you guys have more of a view. Let's just make sure I positioned that well. There we go. I guess a little bit of a greenish tinge is not so bad since we did decide to call these leaves as opposed to feathers, so which I can tell you a good chunk of my birds have greenish feathers too, so I guess it doesn't really go bad either way. Definitely not hating on it. It adds a nice little bright pop to the darker tones that it's been so far. And of course, Loki has decided I am out of view and therefore he must complain. So you may hear him a little bit. So I'm going to stop there with these guys. I think I'm not going to go back over them. I think we're going to keep this kind of greenish yellow tone. That we can't do though. So we're going to set this guy aside. And then we're going to clear some space here. Because we know the big guy takes up more space. There we go. Now, we may have to play with your positioning a little bit. And I guess I could just scooch my table a teeny tiny bit. There we go. Well, that helped a touch, didn't it? I just have to kind of pay attention and keep you guys in this area and we'll be fine. It definitely does a good job of breaking up those darker tones, doesn't it? I have a feeling my other half is going to end up taking Loki out for a bit of a walk to get him to settle, since I am out of view and this is apparently unacceptable today. I made the mistake once of bringing him in here to work with me. We won't be doing that again. If you go way back in my history, you'll see I believe it's titled in there, fair warning, this video is a mess. And it is me trying to do anything with him just consistently making messes and vying for attention. Really, the only of the pets that I've ever been able to have out here that wasn't just complete chaos was Hannah. And she was a very chill cat. I think it had at least something to do with her age, but oops. Let's see. Oh, lovely. My dear light is going to go out on me now. That's okay, though. We have a decent amount of sunlight still. And we're just going to keep working while it flashes. I have a lot more leaves on this than I realized. Which is okay. We may not finish it today, but, we'll at least get another color in. Maybe one more if this goes quick enough. Loki is not having any part of me being out of his line of sight today. You can kind of hear him hollering outside the door, letting his opinions be known. I don't know why I started on the side with that, but I think it's just the angle I'm sitting at. Kind of worked though. So what do you guys think? Think we'll finish this video before the light goes out completely, or do we end up working a little bit with one less light lit in here? And this is what happens when you forget to charge your light when it's a battery operated. Well, my goodness. He is just telling him all about it out there. I think that's one thing I will never understand that I see at work is people trying to get their dogs to stop expressing themselves, essentially. I think it's absolutely adorable that he downright talks to us on occasion. There's times you can just almost hear the words he's trying to say. And then there's times like this where he's not particularly understandable, but definitely vocal. I haven't rolled that out of you guys' line of sight, have I? Nope, we're still doing pretty good. I think this may just be a short video today because the pets are not cooperating, the lighting is not cooperating, and I have more here than I realized I needed to do. But sometimes you just gotta work like that. You just have to accept that, okay, this is more work than I thought it was going to be. But I at least got out here and I get something out for you. There we go. And we'll come around to that again here in a minute. Trying to decide between these two. I think I'll decide on this one. There we go. So now we're going to come back around this way. And it is still definitely a very greenish tone, but I'm kind of down with it. And this is me just paying attention and keeping you guys aligned properly this time. Well, crud. I just realized what I did. Okay, we can fix it. So we're going to come in with this one. Again. I forgot that I had already done this one. And then I did this one instead, so I'll have to do those two. And I may come over one of the two with another color. I may not. My moods are dependent on the day. Sometimes I'm in the mood to fix an oops. Sometimes I'm in the mood to roll with it. But for today, we're going to even it out because I like my symmetry. I think we have established this multiple times that I very much like my symmetry. Can you guys see that other leaf? Yes, you can. It's a little ways out of your way, but we're not going too nuts. Just... Oh, Zelda has been offended by something. She likes to sound the alarm if somebody moves and she doesn't want them to. Or if the TV makes her own noise. Or if Sunny is aggravating her, or pretty much for whatever reason she deems necessary. We are definitely getting there though, guys. So now we're going to come in and make this match the top. But I just realized I did a really bad job of getting this back in the camera. There we go. There are definitely days where having a small zoo in your house can push your patience a little bit, but they're still 100% worth it. Oh, there went my light. I'm kind of okay with it. It's basically a backup situation anyway. It just adds a little bit more depth to the light in here. Sometimes on darker days it's actually important to have it, but days like this where the sun is shining nice and bright and I'm at the right point of the afternoon where it is coming in good and strong for me, I can definitely work without it. I think my starting videos were a lot more pitiful with the lighting. It was this one, this one. Yeah. Sorry. Had a moment there of just making sure I had it kind of even. Oh, and this one. I'm really actually liking this color. The more I use it, the brighter it looks, especially against those darker colors. It's just a nice little relief. We don't want it necessarily super duper bright, but we also don't want to go too far on the side of dark either. There we go. And it sounds like my wonderful partner has decided to quiet the Loki. Probably took him out for a nice long walk. Do them both some good. Get some movement. Oops. Sorry, didn't mean to kick you guys. And it is this guy. And, oh, I almost forgot this guy. We can't just be forgetting leaves now, can we? And I do think they look much more like leaves than feathers, just with the shapes. Feathers are usually a bit more rounded. And they don't usually have these points coming off of the sides. Now we need kind of a nice change from the past couple of days. It's actually getting a little toasty back here. There we go. And one more leaf. And then we'll take a look at our time. And we'll decide if I want to go another color or if we want to call it a day. A little bit of a shorter video isn't always a bad thing. Especially when nothing wants to cooperate. So now we're in the 20-minute mark, so I think we are going to go ahead and stop there. But that definitely brightened things up a bit. So I will talk to you guys next week.